So, this is a booking what if that plenty of people, myself included, have wanted for ages. The prospect of The Crow, based on Brandon Lee's The Crow from the movie The Crow, that's a lot of crows, taking on the dead man walking, The Undertaker, was jaw-dropping. Just imagine, The Undertaker doing his cutthroat taunt while Sting points his bat at Undertaker, maybe bonk him on the head on accident with it, because that would be funny. But we never got that. Instead, Sting had easily his worst run yet, as he feared when after a great debut helping Team Cena win against the Authority, he would battle Triple H at WrestleMania. The fans wanted Undertaker vs Sting, but we were alright with it potentially being pushed back to Mania 32, so this would be a nice win for Sting to solidify him as a force to be reckoned with, only to lose to fucking Triple H. Much like Goldberg, Scott Steiner, Booker T, they all end up losing to the King of Kings. Possibly it was all Vince's decision, because the thing is, you're not allowed to have come from another company, because if you do, you'll be stripped off all your momentum and popularity, because damn you for not being a WWE mainstay, and not being what Vince created. This line of thinking is dumb, and we were all annoyed to say the least, but we thought, oh well, surely he'll win his next fight. Who's his next opponent? Uh-oh, it's Seth fucking Rollins. Now obviously Sting has said it's not all Rollins' fault. He took the buckle bomb wrong, and that ended up wrecking his shit. But still, it's a shame. Like, of course Rollins is gonna win. If anything, I think we'd all be upset if the young guy making his name would have all this work tossed away just for a ratings bump. Glad that never happens anymore. But this was the end of Sting's run as we knew it anyway. As soon as Sting got injured, WWE didn't want to use him anymore. Not even as a GM, which don't lie, that would have been heaps cool. Or have him as a manager for some guy with a similar aura. That could be a pretty cool badass face, like maybe Baron Corbin. Yes, Baron Corbin had a badass aura at one point. Then he became Kalu grown up. But WWE decided, nope, you got injured, enjoy catering for the next 5 years, and this sucks. Because if Sting didn't get injured, he would have 4 more years of wrestling possibly in him. Maybe less because old age does suck. But we would have eventually gotten The Undertaker vs Sting, Sting vs John Cena, Sting vs Bray Wyatt, Sting vs Baron Corbin, Sting vs Dean Ambrose, Sting vs Roman Reigns, Sting vs AJ Styles, and Sting vs Daniel Bryan in the midst of his heel run in 2019. All of this would have been great, but injuries happen, and we know this. But here's how I would book Sting's WWE Run. Now obviously, without hindsight, there's no way we would have known Sting would get injured from Seth Rollins. But Sting still could have returned from it. It would take half a year or a year, but he still could have returned if his injury didn't result in spinal stenosis. So, looks like Night of Champions 2015 is going to be our deadline, because either way, that match is going to happen, and that's going to be the first time Sting takes the buckle bomb, so he's not going to take it any different way. He's still going to get injured. That's why he's still getting injured, and that's our deadline. So let's make a captivating story in that time. I'm keeping everything leading up to WrestleMania 31 the same. But the match Sting vs Triple H, fuck off Hunter, Sting is winning this one. Because can you imagine having a new top toy losing all his momentum in their first singles match? Ha 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 ha. After this, Triple H wants a rematch because he's upset he got one-upped by a WCW guy. But Sting only accepts over a stipulation. If Triple H loses, he's out of the Authority. He's stripped from all his power, and as a compromise, Sting puts his career on the line. At first, Triple H is hesitant, but of course he eventually comes around and accepts the match. And so, at Extreme Rules, we get Sting beating Triple H in a no-holds-barred career versus Authority match. And now Triple H has no power in the Authority. He's useless now. And Seth Rollins sees Trips as a liability now. And on the Raw following Extreme Rules, he pedigrees Triple H. Because yeah, we kinda need Seth to start being more aggressive and more ruthless. Not this whiny brat of a coward when he's your top champion, by the way. So, just like that, Triple H is out of the Authority. And on hiatus for a little while. Same goes for Stephanie. The Authority is now just Rollins, Kane, Big Show, as well as J&J Security. But for a bit more backup, Rollins hires the Ascension to beat up anyone he's up against backstage to ease up his title defenses. Sting, meanwhile, goes after Kane and the Big Show. Sting's whole goal here is to eliminate the Authority, and he's continuing this by getting rid of the Grandpas. At Payback, Sting manages to win against Kane and Big Show, eliminating their power from the Authority. Rollins wins against Orton, Ambrose, and Reigns fair and square to keep his title. He then boasts about this the next Raw. Now there's 5 left: Rollins, J&J, and the Ascension. With Kane and Show being gone, the Ascension get their slot in power. So the Ascension get more money. Well, not money, because they're... what are they? Dudes from hell? Yeah, I think they'll do. They'll get paid in coal, baby. Up next is Money in the Bank. Sting goes after J&J. Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank briefcase a year earlier, and Rollins retains his title against Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. Sting beats J&J because as if we're having Sting lose to security guards. So now there's Rollins and the Ascension left in the Authority, and on top of worrying about his group's numbers dwindling, he has to worry about Ambrose cashing in at any moment. Oh yeah, and it's Battleground, so he also has to worry about Brock fucking Lesnar, while the Ascension worry about Sting. And at Battleground, the Ascension no-show their match, which makes them lose their match, but this is done on purpose, as Rollins hires the Ascension for more money to help him win against Lesnar. The Ascension getting eliminated from the Authority just to help him out against Lesnar is a risk Rollins was willing to take. And now it's Lesnar versus Rollins for the WWE title. Brock wrecked Seth's shit. 70 German suplexes, 60 F5s, hell, and in 40 shooting star presses if you want, if he doesn't break his neck. Rollins still shows fight and gives Brock a run for his money, but Brock is still wrecking him at this point. And just as Lesnar gets Rollins ready for one last F5, with the Ascension already F5 through announce tables, we have Triple H pedigreeing Lesnar, which throws out the match. And just as Triple H helps Rollins up and hands him his WWE title, looking like it was all a swerve all along, it turns out to be a swerve inside of a swerve as Triple H pedigrees Seth Rollins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at SummerSlam. We will be getting Triple H versus Seth Rollins for the WWE title at SummerSlam. With Rollins being the last of the Authority, Sting decides to let Triple H do his thing with Rollins for a bit as he takes on The Undertaker at SummerSlam. The Undertaker could be the one to come out at Battleground instead of the Ascension to cut his throat. Not literally, that would be terrible. But doing a taunt while Sting points his bat. Because come on man, we need this match. Lesnar can take his frustrations out on maybe Roman Reigns. Get a rematch between them from WrestleMania 31. But at SummerSlam, Sting beats Undertaker, Rollins beats Triple H, and Lesnar beats Reigns. Now, this is the deadline. Night of Champions 2015. Triple H failed to beat Rollins, and all of this is giving Rollins a bigger ego. But Rollins has one last threat to his title run, and that is the man called Sting. Sting has gotten rid of all Seth's lackeys, leaving only the Architect to dethrone. At Night of Champions 2015, Rollins will defeat Sting in a competitive match, with of course the injury sadly still happening. But hopefully, from all this, we have told an interesting story, have given Sting a great run. Keep in mind, his only loss here was against Rollins. This puts Rollins over huge, by the way, which is necessary if he's going to be your top guy in the company next to Ambrose and Roman Reigns. And yes, while this is the last of Sting as an in-ring competitor, what a way to go out. And now maybe he can be an authority figure without the face paint, doing justice for the roster. And as for Rollins, well, we're going with the whole not preventing an injury thing, but seeing as Rollins has gone a different route, and Kane being long gone from the authority months ago, because the story is going to be different, with Rollins not being a coward at this point, I think Rollins will be fine. And he can lose his WWE title to Dean Ambrose in a Shield triple threat match at WrestleMania 32, as Ambrose has cashed in to be a part of it. And from there, you can gradually book Rollins' face run. And that's how I'd book Sting's WWE run. What do you reckon? Yay or nay? Let me know down below. This was Mad Magon, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.